team usually enjoys that.
Game tied at 32, approaching the midway point of the second quarter. Mills again with Price on him, draws the foul and goes down hard. Knicks doing a good job recognizing the mismatch and going right to Mills.
Well, they're hurrying into their offense, Mike, which is what Jeff Van Gundy wants. When they're in transition going to defense to offense, they're hurrying up the pace more and more. And they're getting their opponents off balance, which means they're getting good looks at the basket.
Price's first foul. As John mentioned, Mills with that 20-point game against the Magic earlier this season.
That was the Saturday night on January 3rd after they had met earlier in the week. This one was at the Garden. 8 out of 13 from the field. Hit a couple of threes as well. And forward.
One of two 20-point games this year for Mills, who's the Knicks' leading scorer right now with 8. Knicks by 2. Price, the feed to Cycli, tries. Ball knocked out of bounds, and it's still Magic ball.
Cycli, who comes into this game having scored 1 field goal in each of the last 2 games. Not enough for him.
He has really been up and down this year. He's had some magnificent games. Blocked by Dudley. Right to 3-on-2. Childs with the move. And the Knicks lead it now 36-32.
Starks was ready for the pass back. Starks was in the middle. Childs stayed on the sideline, and he just felt he could beat his man, and he was right.
What I like about Dudley, he rejected it and kept it in play. And you see the Knicks doing the job on the fast break. Strong flips it up there. Cycli the offensive rebound and draws the foul. And Cycli will shoot 2. Chris Dudley with the rejection. And John, how many times do we see the macho block and they reject it out of bounds where you get the block shot but you don't retain possession? This time he keeps it in play.
Yes, that worked perfectly. Well, that's from the school of how to block shots properly. I think Bill Russell really brought that point out in his years with the Celtics and his great defensive play. Block it to your teammate. Don't send it into the stands, as you say.
Cycli hits the first free throw. I want to remind you for coverage of the national sports scene with an eye toward the hometown team. Watch Fox Sports News tonight at midnight, right here on the MSG Network. Cycli 1. Houston comes away with a rebound. By 3. Remaining in the second. Knicks at 59%. Starks. Houston has Price on him, and he's going to want to take him. And Price, that's the new rule. Can't put a hand on your man if he's facing the basket with the ball before he puts it on the floor. Only the second team foul.
You know, there hasn't been much talk about this rule, Mike, and I think as a result, players go back to the old ways and they kind of forget about it. But once in a while they lean in. You can see the ball wasn't on the floor yet, and Houston had an elbow on him.
I remember some of the officials saying they felt that would have an enormous impact this year, but it hasn't. Starks. John Starks from three-point range, and the Knicks lead it 39-33. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the second, and Cycli fouled before the shot. I believe it's on Dudley. Freddie Bernhardt said number 4, but it's 14 Dudley. So he picks up his third.
His third and 13 foul. On the Knicks, number 34, Charles Oakley.
Charles Oakley will return, and Dudley will sit down.
Number 12, Derek Harper.
Jeff Van Gundy has to be very pleased with his team's effort here at both ends of the court. The Knicks look very prepared tonight for the Orlando Magic. They're really into the game. They're not letting what happened in the first half of their last game down here happen.
Knicks right now on a 17-5 run. Nick Anderson. Where you can just see the difference, the body language from some of the games we've watched him on TV. He's playing with confidence. As John mentioned, Knicks have not seen Anderson nor Hardaway at all this year. This is the first time they've been healthy enough to play against him.
Or Strong also.
Shot clock at 6. Johnson, the strong move, high off the glass and gets the roll.
What a tough move.
Larry Johnson now with 8 points, and the Knicks lead at 41-35. They continue to shoot extremely well. Now it's 62%. Anderson wants to post up Houston. Oakley goes to double. Harper, that's a three. Derek Harper from downtown.
And Starks had help on the mind with Harper. He was floating away a couple of times, see if he could help out someone else. All of a sudden, the ball got back to Harper, and Starks was chasing him.
And the Knicks are going to call timeout. 3:44 remaining. Second quarter in Orlando. Knicks shooting 62%. They lead by 4. 10 on the MSG Network. Starter presents Play It Up. This week, Play It Up features New York Knicks forward Buck Williams.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore for Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, nor if thou wilt not be but scorn thy love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. But thy name that is my enemy, thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? Which is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor...
Excellent concentration from the veteran Buck Williams.
Yes, Buck was under a lot of pressure there.
That's this Saturday on MSG. Larry Johnson draws the foul on Cycli. And Johnson will shoot 2. Cycli expresses dismay over the call. Yeah, that's going to be his first. Knicks are shooting in the second quarter, John, 8 of 10.
Let's see. Bump it, drop, carry over the one. 80%.
That Fordham degree comes in handy very often.
Meanwhile, in the prior games, the Knicks have shot 46% each of the last 2 games against Orlando, whereas the Magic have shot 37% on the average. They've yet to break 40 against the Knicks this year.
Grant comes in. Cycli will sit down. 3:39 remaining in the second, and there are the numbers. Although that is not an aberration for this team. They are just not a good shooting team. Johnson goes 1 of 2. As overall, as a team, they're shooting under 43% for the season. Hardaway looking to post up Chris Childs. Knicks have been sending a lot of help defense on this particular play. Childs with the strip. Excellent defense from Chris Childs. Beautiful feed to Larry Johnson. Boy, Childs did it all in that sequence, and the Knicks lead by 7.
That's just terrific point guard execution. He put himself into a crowd, but he was able to pick out the open man and successfully get him the ball.
Childs with 5 assists already in coming off the bench, as Chuck Daly calls a 20-second timeout. Of course, he started it at the other end.
Yes, good defense on Hardaway, who just doesn't look that sharp yet with all the games he's missed. And as he comes down, Childs finds Larry Johnson. Another look at it again. Johnson breaks to the basket. You can see the Orlando team just, they're not communicating together inside the foul line. It's kind of every man for himself. Let's double team the ball and hope good things happen. Meanwhile, people are open when they double team the ball. No one's rotating.
Childs playing well last several games. Larry Johnson, by the way, now with 11 points. Next up for the Knicks Sunday night, Cavs at the Garden. MCS Cannon game night kicks off our coverage at 7:30. Tip off at about 8:10. A little later start on Sunday night.
Hardaway hasn't posted up all game now to the last 2 times down court. He's 6'8", working against much smaller defenders.
4 on the shot clock. Harper. Air ball on the 3, so a 24-second violation. By the way, that last shot by Derek Harper that we called the 3, the last one that went in, they changed to a 2-pointer.
Correction. Foul on number 1, Chris Childs.
Now they're going to call a foul on Chris Childs. It appeared to be a 24-second violation, but Childs picks up his second. Knicks with 14 fouls, and the Magic will get a new possession.